Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 93 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and we've got a great show in store for you today. Two amazing homes, and in the second segment, we're going to talk about 7 things you need to know before you begin to ever flip a house. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. We've got a lot of great tips. But first, let's talk about what we did over the week and what it looks like is happening in real estate.
Let's see.
Loaded question,
It was really busy. It
was.
really busy this weekend. I worked both days this weekend, had buyer clients, and
You got one under contract.
got one under contract. We had the other one made an offer, didn't get the house. But
You're going to do backup on that one?
we're trying, but we're also going back out to look at, I think there were 5 new homes that came on the market this weekend. So,
Gotcha.
That's
good. I had an open house, and it was great because I love the open houses when everybody comes in and has their masks on. It was very easy, social distancing. It's great when your people that come in and you explain that we're being cautious, and they said, well, we'll just go upstairs since there's someone's downstairs. And I was like, thank you. I really appreciate that. And it was so cute because a neighbor came in from just down the street, and they didn't have their masks on. And I was like, hey, do you mind if I've got 2 masks? And she was so cute. She goes, I am so sorry. I am not one of those people. And they both put them on. They're like, we just got out. We were going for a walk, and we saw you had the open house. And I was like, that's no problem. Yeah. Come on in. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up, because we've talked about mini splits before on a listing that we've had on the market. But I thought it was interesting because I took some of our clients out 2 weekends ago and found them a place, and it was downstairs. It was a townhome, and downstairs they had opted to put in a mini split rather than run the ductwork. And I thought that was really interesting and a good saver. And then the other day on Twitter, I was going through it, and Mitsubishi has the SqFt mini split that is different now, and it's an upgrade, so it actually goes all the way into the ceiling, and so it just looks like a long vent versus that kind of like hotel look where it has a block down and then it blows out.
Thing on the end of the room.
Yeah. And so I thought this is a very interesting way to air condition a room that may not get as much, or if you're got a she shed or a guest suite that's farther away and you don't want to run the whole ductwork over.
Yeah.
This is really great. And it was called a Mitsubishi Electric Train HVAC SqFt. So I was really impressed with it, and then I read the thread. It looked like a lot of people had good success with them.
Interesting.
So Summer Riggins, if you're watching this, I know you put one of these in. We'd love to get your feedback on that. All right. So
what else
did
did you do this weekend?
That was it. I did swim some.
I did too.
I did. You know what? I finally feel like now that everything is kind of settled in the house, I had my first garage workout yesterday, and I was very excited about that. So yay for me.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah. I mean, really. Oh, well.
I'll just, it's so hot to work out outside right now. We did that in the spring, and then after it started getting hot, we were just like, I was like, I'm just not doing that.
So those big old fans, though? I put that big fan down on the floor, and I kind of stand in front of it, and then work out, and then I have my water.
Yeah.
So
I'll bet that does make a difference.
it made a little bit of a difference.
So
We'll see.
Let's jump into our houses this week.
Hit it. What's the first one?
Okay. First house this week, really, really cool house in Sunset Hill, 400 South Brighton Avenue. And this is a really cool craftsman style. Yep. It's almost a cross between a craftsman style home and an airplane bungalow.
Interesting.
Very close. But a lot of those homes are really unique to the Sunset Hill neighborhood.
Yeah.
This was a neighborhood that was actually developed in the late 1800s, like many of the in-town neighborhoods that we talk about are. This was also a 1,000-acre farm when it began, and the guy that had started all of this, the land assembly there, was actually assembling the land to avoid the farmer to the east getting any closer to him. And it was his grandchildren. That was in I think the 1830s, and then by the late 1800s, his children had developed the land into subdivisions, began selling it off, and they were building. And this one was built in, I think, 1911, if I'm not mistaken. And the location is really great. It is right next door to Winnetka Heights. Sunset Hill is not a conservation district or a historic district, so you don't have the rules and regs that come over with that. But from a location perspective, you can be in downtown in a matter of minutes.
Right.
You can be over the Bishop Arts District on a bike in just a matter of minutes. And we all know that, those neighborhoods in Oak Cliff have such charm that you just don't get anywhere else in the city.
Absolutely. And the other thing too is that this portion, in this map right here, if you look just to the right of that, and you can see 35s right there, they're also doing that deck cover of that portion, just like they did at Clyde Warren Park. So we're really excited about the things that they're getting down in this portion of Dallas as well.
Yeah.
And if you're coming in and out of Dallas, it's really nice because you can use Hampton to get down and not have to go through downtown Dallas. And you really avoid quite a lot of, like we saw the other day when we went over there, a giant accident that had happened in the lower 30. So this is a really great area. Let's go ahead and take a look at these pictures. Again, as Jeff was saying, this is a 1914 home, and it is amazing. 1914 home, but what was it, last year she put on the roof on this home?
It was about 4 or 5 years ago she put it on.
So great place. This one just painted as well. And the wraparound porch, I got to tell you, is on 3 sides of this living room, and it is amazing.
It really is. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and as you can tell, a lot of originality of the home has been kept. The built-in cabinetry that comes with this, that piece right there is one of the, we think it's part of the original construction of the home, probably hand carved. You could look at the columns and the way that the entry into the living room is. And as you step into the living room, you got these really cool vaulted ceilings in there. This is the dining room as you first walk in the door that is connected to the living area.
And one of the things that we noticed throughout this house is, like, as Jeff was pointing out, there were original cabinets in the dining room, but you can see you've got these that also look like they're original, and then that is a mirror on the far side right there. And again, we're thinking this is all original. You can also go out of the out to the porch from the living room as well. Throughout the house, we also noticed that there were original pieces, such as the doors were original, and I think that the knobs are also, because they look like they were crystal throughout.
And she's done a really good job, or the previous owner did a really good job of updating the kitchen. The current owner has done some additional renovation and modernization to it. You can see the granite countertops. It's got the tile backsplash, the glass front cabinetry. Still has the really nice modern range. And then they brought this little roller cart in that provides some extra countertop space.
Yep, and it's cut off on this, but this is actually a clawfoot bathtub, cast iron. It is a really good kind of throwback piece that stays here. And one of the things and this is the first bedroom that's downstairs, one of the things we liked about this is that you still see some of the actual brick in this one. Bedroom 2 is right here, and one of the great things is it has a lot of natural light and a direct access to the outdoors right here.
And then as you step around the corner here, you'll find this is kind of the utility room space. It's also a walkthrough between the kitchen and coming out to the back porch. Big, wide stairwell that goes up to the second floor from this point into a really, really large master bedroom that's got a big walk-in closet, two closets on it, and a really nice bath that's kind of tucked off to the side, and lots of great storage.
One of the things about this is that there's also, behind this bed, there's also additional space that's above the living room that hasn't been converted yet that would make an additional great studio space or storage. And once we move outside, there's an extensive decking system out here, covered seating also on the side. My concept for this seating over here on the side with that pergola, I think that needs to be retrofitted into the most amazing chicken coop, but that is just me. I thought it would be a great piece.
And really large backyard. It's fenced really well. You could just move in right away and have a perfect place to live.
So this is 400 South Brighton Avenue. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, built in 1914, 1544 square feet, priced at $389, which is $250 a foot. If you would like more information about this home, in the comments below, you'll be able to see the link. Click on that and take you to us. If you'd like to go out and take a look at it, please DM us, get a hold of us, and we'll be happy to show that to you.
Absolutely.
Perfect. All right, Jeff, what's the next one?
Our second home today is this really cute lease property that we have available in Richardson. And these lease homes that are in this area seem to lease almost immediately. So if this is something of interest to you, call us right away. This one is located in the Parkview Estates neighborhood, which is really close to Richardson Heights, south of Campbell Road, north of Arapahoe, really tucked perfectly between Custer and Waterview Parkway. And this has really good access to Highway 75. There's a lot of industry there. If you are a UT Dallas student, this is a great location for you. When we've had this listed before, we had a lot of student applicants that were engineering students and that wanted this house. So really cool home.
The other thing to point out, how this actually ties back into the second segment is when we talk about flipping homes, knowing your neighborhood. This is one of those great neighborhoods, and we've been in and out of that neighborhood a lot. So if the second segment in this house kind of connect with you, let us know. We'll be happy to sit down, kind of pencil in and talk to you about this neighborhood in depth. But let's go ahead and jump into the inside of this home.
This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. It's about 1,560 square feet, built in 1964. Brick exterior, really great location, conditions, just really a nice house.
And she was able to get this home, and it was actually right after it had been flipped. And so lots of the built-ins were kind of just cleaned up, and they used shiplap to wrap the fireplace.
Thank you, Chip and Joanna.
Yeah, lots of that. The can lights also added a really nice update because so many of these homes just don't have that. Everything was a lamp back then. And then again, just clean color palette. So it's really white. This is the actual dining room, which is on the other side of the two-sided fireplace, and then it opens up to the backyard.
And it has that very typical kitchen that's open to the dining room with the countertop space there. If you're an entertainer, it's a great house for that because you've got really great circular flow in there. There is a refrigerator that's been installed since these pictures have been taken, so it is fully outfitted and 100% ready for move-in.
And the great thing about this one is that it also has a utility room, and that utility room opens to the backyard. So this is almost like a mud room as well. So works out for a lot of different reasons for busy families, whether it's for your 2-legged or your 4-legged friends. This is a great fit for this.
The bathrooms have been redone very, very nicely. They have tile surrounds in them, the modern stainless steel fixtures, really nicely done floor finishes on them. The bedrooms on these homes are decent size for the 1,500 square foot space that you have throughout. Window coverings have already been done. It's painted in a very neutral palette all the way through, so whatever furniture you have will fit perfectly.
Yep, and the master bedroom on this one is actually a 13 by 17, and this is that image right here. Really great space. Closet system is done. Again, what we're looking for when we look for really strong flip homes is something someone can move in immediately and goes with everyone's taste. And that is one of the keys here that she really enjoyed. And outside, once we get to the backyard, you'll see that the fence is stained and the back is new. There's also a really clean open space. And in this instance, she is actually taking care of the lawn maintenance for the homeowner. So that is an extra that really helps someone who is maybe just relocating here and doesn't have time to go get all the lawn equipment, or it adds a really great feature because you don't have to do it yourself.
True. 714 Cambridge Drive, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, a little over 1,500 square feet, is offered at $2,250 a month, and that is about $1.43 a square foot. And if you're in touch with the rental market right now, you know that most rents that we see are running somewhere about $1.75 to $2 a square foot. So it makes this one a really good value for the area.
Yep, it is always done, and I think she's owned this for like 3 or 4 years, and it's always done quite well. So congratulations, good one. All right, so now we're going to take and we're going to go back into the Oak Cliff.
Yep.
And this one came on the market and instantly caught my attention because we like the idea, and again, this kind of goes back into our second segment, homes that have potential, and this one is one of those amazing ones just because of the pedigree. This is actually a Charles Dilbeck, and if you're familiar with local architects here in Dallas, this is one of the ones that really made a name in Oak Cliff and also in East Dallas as well. So this next one is going to be 2842 Dival, and this is an amazing area of Dallas. This is Ravinia Heights, and if you're not familiar with Ravinia Heights, it's just off of, you can see Westmoreland and Jefferson. Really a great area, and one of the things that Oak Cliff has that a lot of neighborhoods don't, they have really great topography, and most neighborhoods have mature trees, and this is one of the winding streets that has the topography, that has the trees, that's just really a great place. We were told by the agent that met us there, Michael, at how integrated this neighborhood is. And so when it's not on shutdown, there's a lot of different parties that they have, wine crawls, spring and fall events. And so if you're looking for a neighborhood to be able to plug and play in, this is a great neighborhood for that.
It really is. And Ravinia is one of those streets that that just runs from, the northern part of Oak Cliff all the way down to the southern part. And, our other listing down on South Ravinia, the other end of that neighborhood really is, it's such an eclectic neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's got a variety of styles of home. This is a really large cluster of, you mentioned it was a Dilbeck home, and it's a really large cluster of Dilbecks right there together.
Didn't he say they're like 4 or 6 in a row right here? And so you can kind of see what they can become. And so this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage, and it sits on the corner. And so it's got a ton of lot space. And you can see right here how, as I was talking about, the canopy is there. This is a really long driveway. And one of the things that, as we were visiting with Michael here on this house, is the ability to maybe change the direction of the lot and the
orientation of the way the house is entered. And you could actually come in off of the back street. One of the ideas that they had was to kind of change the front door space from this front door space back over to the other doors that we saw. You open into this really cool living room that's got wood flooring. It has the exposed wood ceilings with vaulted, really cool original beaming that was done there.
And it's all part of that Dilbeck that was made him so popular. Kitchen has been renovated, and probably you could do a couple of things to it just to bring it up. But again, we look into the second living area, and here again are the pine paneling in the exposed beams in the ceiling that make it really amazing.
And corner windows, which is also another Dilbeck-esque feature. This has some beamed ceilings in it, and I believe those were actually beams that were done over the original beams, but they do provide a little bit, probably a little bit better parity for the size of the room.
So you've got two bathrooms here, and this is the second one that also has been renovated. And then you get a look into the second one. So everything is ready, and you could move in, but I think this is one of those ones that, given it a little bit, you could do a lot with this. As we were talking, this neighborhood can support homes that are easily in the mid to high 5s. And so you could put in, at this current price, $100,000 in renovations and still be under the market value, which is really great, whether it's going to be something that you keep or whether it's something that you bring back onto the market.
Yeah, and this is what they were proposing. They thought the new front door location would be on this. And I think it would be really cool because you tear that fence down, and we have kind of a floor plan of what the current property is, and then I think we've got a sketch of what some of the propositions were for it. So it's one of those that if you've got some ideas on your own, you've certainly got a good base to work from.
Absolutely. So 2842 Duval, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage, 1949 Dilbeck, 2351 square feet, and it comes in at $385,995, which is $164 a foot.
Yeah, and thank you, Michael Mann, for letting us talk about his home today.
Yeah, great home. And again, there'll be information in the comments below for you to be able to click on and get to see all of the pictures, because we didn't bring them all on.
Right.
And if you'd like to book an appointment to look at these in real time, we'd be happy to do that. And with that, I think it's time to get to a commercial.
Really close. If you're watching us on Facebook, reach out and like it. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe, and we will be right back. There are lots of ways to keep up with us. Visit and like our Facebook page to watch us live and get updates about future show topics. Also, visit our Instagram account where you can see the latest homes we have for sale. You can also check out our website at updikepugh.com, where you can create customized searches of active and sold homes that you may find of interest. If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, visit homeprice.fyi and you can get a price instantly. Just enter your address and a couple of other pieces of information, and we will email you a price. If you are on the go and podcasts are better for you, our second segments are available on iTunes and Spotify. Last of all, you can reach out to us by phone or text at 214-377-2223. And welcome back to the second segment of episode 93 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
All right.
Guess what we're going to talk about today?
Flipping homes.
Flipping homes. So 7 things to know before you flip your first home. I want to say right off the bat, I'm not a fan of the term flip.
I agree with that. Do you have a better one?
I don't know that there's a better one that everybody really, kind of knows what you're talking about with it.
Yeah.
But,
remodeling.
In my head, flip insinuates you're doing it the cheapest, fastest, and the ones that are well done, they're not done that way. They're done with care, and they're done with some thought. And that's really kind of what we're going to talk about today.
Yes, because everybody can do that, slap the lipstick on it. But at the end of the day, it's still a pig. And the problem is that we're going to have, buyers are going to have inspections done. And it just, at the end of the day, that inspection report comes back to you and you're going to have to redisclose. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about how do we get the best bang for our buck, and how do we get into this the right way? Because it's key. And the number one thing is the budget. The budget. It is really, it's the one portion that if it's not in place, it doesn't matter what you do. And we've seen more flippers. It's evident when they get done and they can't finish the house, the budget was not properly addressed. Yeah. And, when we've done property before, we have a spreadsheet we work from, and we know what those numbers are going to be, and we have a fudge factor we built in, on every one of them, because there are always, the drama that you see on House or Chip and Joanna show and Property Brothers. That drama, while it's really kind of made up for that show or amplified for those shows. It really does happen. I mean, you start pulling the plywood off or the sheetrock off, and you're like, oh my God, the termites have destroyed this wall. It happens. It does, and it's not funny like they make it, or it's like, oh, we'll get it fixed. No, that's your money, and it's your time, and it is. So the big thing too is also to have a recipe. A lot of times, remodelers are going to have a recipe, and they're going to stick to that recipe, and so they know they know everything in the cost, and they know what their minimum sales price is. And I think a lot of people forget, what happens if you don't make the mark and it doesn't sell the first 10 days it comes on the market, 30 days on the market. What are your knockdowns on the price that you're still comfortable with? We were reading an article, and I thought it was really funny because it said, you're not going to make hundreds of thousands on your flip. If you make money, that's a win. And I think that if you make money, like even if you make $1,000, that means you didn't lose. True. And it may not be a bunch, but. And the thing, Dallas is one of those markets where we have the smallest percentage of our marketplace are flip homes of almost any major metropolitan city in the country. Interesting. So, only 20% of the homes that sell in the Dallas-Fort Worth market are actually flip properties. One of the things also to know about in the budgeting thing is to not let your ego get involved. A lot of people like to think that it's a perfect deal and that they can do it, or I'm going to be the first and make this happen. And when it's your money, I think those are really big questions that you need to ask yourself if you're comfortable with. Yes, very much so. So have your recipe. Yep. Number 2 is financing options. So there's some really good options for you out there if you're wanting to do your first renovation property and start doing some real estate investment. The most expensive way is to go with hard money lenders, which a lot of investors do. And if you're unfamiliar with hard money lenders, they're lenders that know they are taking a big risk. You are putting a lot of cash down, but they know they're taking a lot of risk. And so in exchange for taking that risk, they're going to charge you points up front, which is, like 2 points is 2% of what you're actually borrowing from them for the purchase plus the renovation. And then the interest rate is going to be high. And the other challenge with hard money lenders is that when you have to go renew that loan with them,
they're going to twist it tighter and make you put more capital into the project, and your renewal rates are going to be really outrageous. And so going to a different hard money lender, they already know your back's against the wall, so they're not going to be any nicer than the first hard money lender. So it is an expensive way to borrow, but that is the purpose, most of the purpose that they're out there.
And that hard money lender, we were trying to work a transaction out on some brand new townhomes in East Dallas, and we were told by the listing agent that on the 13th that the developer was going to be signing over the properties to the hard money lender because they hadn't sold.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
Which meant that developer was probably walking away from a lot of money that he had put into that property just to get those built. So anyway,
Be careful with them.
yeah, be careful with them.
What's a better way to do it?
Another
way.
Another way is through, a lot of people have a home equity line of credit that they
Correct.
can utilize, and we are not encouraging you to go out and frivolously use your equity if you don't really understand what you're getting into, because that does get people into trouble.
Right.
But if you're someone that does, that kind of has the acumen for doing this, and you have a resource, that is a really good resource to be able to use.
And the last and best way is to use cash.
Absolutely.
Cash doesn't cost you anything, and you don't owe anything to anybody, and it is yours at the end of the day. So things to think about.
Yep. Number 3 is timing, the timing, and the schedule.
Yep, and these are really critical because I think that people who begin their budget once it's closed are already behind. People who don't have the demo happening the day of or the day after closing are behind. And I think that it's so critical that you get with all of your subs and make sure that you are scheduled tight and that it is on track. You will be shocked if everything takes an extra 3 to 5 days, why your property can't hit your expected market date. One of the other things to be really conscientious of is when something's off. When that shifts on you, you need to look and find out what other subs that's going to make an adjustment to and adjust accordingly. Because once they leave your site, they're going to go work on somebody else's project, and getting them back, it's tough.
Yeah, it is. And getting them to focus on your project again is very difficult.
Yep.
A lot of subcontractors really, they want to get into one project and get out of that project and move on to the next. And so jumping between projects costs them money because they've got to retool, re-gear, maybe hire, more people or not have as many people. And it does create a challenge for them.
So timing, scheduling, you have to be on that. And it is something that can change on the daily. And
Absolutely.
if you show up once a week on your flip, you are going to be shocked every time you walk in. What's next?
Number 4, appliances and materials. Know where you're going to source all of these from. Know how much they're going to cost. Know what quantities you need. Have all of that built into your budget, and be prepared to pull the trigger as those products are needed. And one of the things that we have found is that many times you can purchase everything that you need up front, and those vendors will store those items
Right.
and allow you to come and pick those up. Of course, they're going to have a max window built into that, what they're going to store them for, but it is a good way to be able to negotiate package deals, negotiate bulk buy discounts.
Right.
But be prepared to pull that trigger day one and know when you're going to need them and what you're going to need exactly.
Yep. And if you buy cheap, don't think that you can turn around and sell it for the highest price point.
Yeah, I
that doesn't
totally agree.
ever work. And appliances need to be installed for a homeowner to make a full decision.
And, I will say this, that don't go to, I'm not going to mention the store name. Don't go to a store and buy the end run of a product just because it's on sale and you can make it fit into your design. Because if you don't have enough of that product, you
Yes.
are, you're going to be stuck. And then many times the people that come into your home have already seen what those end run products look like. And so they know you bought that last batch of that tile, or you bought that last batch of that wood floor.
Yep.
So come at it from a design perspective, knowing what the trends are for end users, and just be prepared with that.
The next thing that we want to talk about is location, and location always matters. Highways are not going to leave you or leave; they're there. Schools are number one.
Schools, yes, schools are a very big driver in neighborhood value. They are not necessarily the end all be all, but they certainly provide stability to a price point, and many times that people are looking for a specific elementary school or a specific middle school or within certain distance to other academic activities.
And those are drivers that force people to buy more, pay more, and that's what we're looking for. Gentrification is another thing. Just know that a lot of times in gentrification situations, you're going to be competing against other people with all cash, and they'll come in faster than you sometimes if that happens.
Also regarding the location, green bells, views, golf courses, those all do have an impact. So keep that in mind. Not that you have to only look for properties to renovate that are on, right at those, but those definitely have an impact on value.
The one thing we also want to point out, number 6, is research flips that are both good and bad in the area that you have interest in. You should really know why something sold on the first day when it came on the market, and so why something is 365 days and still on the market. These are chances for you to learn from other people's money. And you should know over the last year every single thing that has bought and sold. And that's where we step in and do the due diligence, because you and I usually know the agent in the neighborhood. And you and I will pick up the phone call and have a very candid, loose conversation about things that they heard buyers talk about that were both good and bad.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so these are things that you should know and be able to make decisions moving forward on your projects as well.
And last of all, listen to what happens in the market. Listen to your realtor, talk to the neighbors, kind of know something about what's going on in the neighborhood before you buy something there. If once you're in that and you've got your product ready to come to the market, listen to what's going on with your home sale. What is the feedback you're getting?
Well, I love the one that you put right here when it said, listen to the feedback that you're getting from your showings, because if you're getting a complaint that something's dark or that just doesn't have the right curb appeal, don't just say, well, we'll just wait for the next one. Make that change. Make that change quick.
Yeah.
Call, and then it's up to the agent for us to call back and say, that's been handled. And we've got this now addressed. Come on back out.
Absolutely.
So
7 really basic ideas about before you do your first renovation on a property. And next week we're going to jump into a little bit more detail about this, and it's evaluating specific properties. How do you evaluate certain specific homes in terms of whether that's the one to do your renovation project with?
And one of the things that's actually not on the list, but that we can do, is we can actually set up map-driven with criteria basis homes that come directly to you, and they'll come in a format so as soon as they actually appear on the market, they'll be in your inbox. So it's not something that has to wait like towards the end of the day or for us to approve. I mean, it shows up almost instantly. And sometimes when you're looking for these renovation projects, it's really the first one in there that gets that.
It is.
So if it's something that is that great and you've done your due diligence, we're ready to get there within the hour to open that house for you.
So we hope you enjoyed the second segment today. If there are any other segments you'd like for us to talk about, if you have any questions about what we went through today, we'd be happy to share with you. And
that's a wrap, pretty much.
Thanks for joining us today.
And remember, we want to be your realtors for life.